Good morning, this is Giovanni Gallucci, and this is the Social Trend Report. With me, like every Tuesday, Rachel Donovan.
Morning, Giovanni. Good to be back.
3 this week, and not one of them is the headline everybody already chewed on. A free editing app that just grew a brain. A craft marketplace picking a fight with the biggest store on earth. And the quiet reason your audience would rather stay home than go out. Let's get into it. Meta's Edits app. The free one, the CapCut alternative. Jamie had it in her stack this week and Eddie ran the detail. It's getting a desktop version and an AI assistant that reads your own Instagram numbers. Views, retention, what people actually finished. Then it tells you what to make next.
So it stopped just cutting clips. Now it's reading the dashboard over your shoulder while you cut.
That's the whole move. For 2 years, the gap for a small brand was never ideas. It was the distance between editing a video and knowing if the last one landed. Meta just closed that gap and gave it away for nothing.
That's the part that gets me. The editing room and the analytics room were always down the hall from each other, and a one-person shop never had time to walk between them. Now they're the same room.
And here's the pushback, because there's always one. The minute the app is telling everybody what works, everybody builds the same thing. Those retention suggestions converge. You end up with a feed full of identical clips with the serial numbers filed off.
Like every truck ad shot on the same dusty road at the same hour. The tool's fine. The sameness is the trap.
So use the machine for the floor, not the ceiling. Let it tell you the hook died at 3 seconds. Don't let it tell you who you are. The template's free. Your point of view isn't.
And don't move into a house you don't own. If your whole pipeline lives inside one app Meta controls, Meta sets the rent later.
Right, produce in it, then pull your raw files back out and keep them somewhere they can't reach.
There's a second order piece too. Once the app knows your retention curve, it's training you as much as it's helping you. You start making what it rewards.
That's the real risk, a quarter out. The tool nudges you toward the average because the average is what the data is made of. The brands that win will read the suggestion and then do the opposite on purpose when their gut says the average is wrong.
Use it like a weather report, not a map. It tells you the conditions. It doesn't tell you where to go.
And think about what this quietly kills. The $40 a month editing subscriptions and the freelancer who charged you to read your own numbers. Meta just folded both into one free app.
Which is great, until it isn't. Free is a price you pay later independence. Worth it, eyes open. 3 takeaways.
1. Stand up an Edits account this week and get fluent before the desktop build and the assistant roll wide. Being early on the tool is a real edge, and it lasts about a quarter before everyone catches up.
2. Treat the retention suggestions like a cheap testing lab. It's the closest thing a solo operator has to a creative team, pointing at the exact second the hook broke.
3. Bank everything off-platform. Raw footage, captions, the whole asset list, in a folder you own. Borrow the studio. Never hand it the negatives. Etsy went and counted their own sellers and found more than 5,000 of them named Jeff. So they built a campaign around it. They call it Shop Other Jeffs, and they launched it 1 week before Amazon Prime Day.
That is not subtle.
It's not supposed to be. That's the most famous Jeff in retail, and Etsy just made him the punchline. Clark flagged it, Jamie had it near the top too, David picking the fight on purpose, right before the Giants' biggest weekend of the summer.
What I like is they never whined about Amazon. No ad about big tech crushing the little guy. They just pointed at 5,000 real people who happened to share the name and said, these Jeffs make the thing themselves.
And most brands get this exactly backwards. The move isn't to launch when it's quiet, it's to launch into the Giants' moment. Prime Day is going to swallow all the retail oxygen the week of June 23rd. Etsy decided to breathe that air instead of waiting for the room to clear.
Counter-program the parade. Don't tiptoe around it.
And the positioning only works because it's specific. Real makers, real names, a thing built by a pair of hands. You can't outspend Amazon. You can be the thing Amazon structurally can't be.
One giant warehouse can't sell you provenance. That's the one shelf they don't stock.
And we've watched this work before it had a name. Patagonia ran Don't Buy This Jacket on Black Friday years back and sold more jackets, not fewer, because it told a truth the Giants couldn't say out loud.
The trap is doing it once and calling it a brand. Etsy gets to pull the stunt because the whole company actually is 5,000 Jeffs. If your provenance claim is a campaign and not a fact, people clock it in about a week.
Right, the stunt only works sitting on top of something true. Earn the position first, then go loud with it during the Giants weekend.
And the timing is the craft. A week before, not the day of. You want to be the idea already in their head when Prime Day hits, not the brand shouting over the fireworks.
Plant the flag early and let the Giants' own marketing remind people you exist. 3 takeaways.
1. Find the category leader's single biggest sales moment and build your counterposition into that exact week. Their ad budget becomes your tailwind because everybody's already shopping the category.
2. Name real humans. The maker, the town, the hands on the product. Etsy didn't say small business, it said 5,000 Jeffs. Specific beats noble every time.
3. Punch at what the giant can't copy, not at the giant itself. Speed, provenance, a face, a story you can prove. Don't fight on price or scale. You'll lose, and you'll sound bitter losing.
Last one, and it's more of a current than a headline. The introvert economy. Clark and Jamie both circled it this week. Gen Z is staying home. Nightlife's gone soft, and the demand moved to stuff you watch from the couch.
The detail that stuck with me. The Love Island vote crashed the app this season. Too many people home on a weekend night, phones out, all voting at once. That's the whole shift in one outage.
And here's the part for operators. When people stay in, they don't want more posts. They want a show, something that comes back, a host they recognize, a format they can count on, the way you'd tune in for a program at the same time every week.
Appointment content, the opposite of the fire hose. People aren't starved for more clips. They're starved for a familiar face on a schedule.
So the strongest move on the table right now isn't posting more. It's building a named, recurring thing. Not a feed, a format. Tuesdays we do this. Give it a name, a shape, and a face people come back for.
Which is funny because it's the oldest media model there is. A show. A host. A time slot. The platform spent a decade telling us to chase the algorithm, and the thing that actually holds people is what radio figured out back in 1930.
The algorithm rents you strangers. A show builds you regulars. And regulars are the only audience that ever buys anything.
And it doesn't take a studio. The strongest version I've seen is one person, one camera, the same 15 minutes every week, answering the question the buyer actually asks.
That's it. Pick a name, pick a day, pick a lane narrow enough you'll never run out of episodes. A coffee roaster does one origin a week. A repair shop does a fix every Wednesday. The format carries the load once it's a habit.
And the consistency is the whole product. Miss 2 weeks and the regulars stop expecting you. The schedule's a promise you made. Keep it.
Here's the quarter out play. Once the show's a habit, it's the thing you sell from, sponsor, spin-off. A feed is disposable. A show is an asset with a name people already trust.
That's the difference between renting attention and owning a room. A brand can absolutely do this. Most won't. They'll keep firing off disconnected one-offs and wonder why nothing sticks to the ribs.
3 takeaways.
1. Launch one named recurring segment this quarter. Same slot, same shape, a real person hosting it. Stop thinking posts. Start thinking episodes.
2. Put a face on it and keep that face consistent. The host is the moat. People come back for a person, not a logo and not a brand voice.
3. Measure return visits, not reach. A small crowd that shows up every week beats a big one that scrolls past once and forgets you by lunch.
That's the social trend report for this week. The free studio grew a brain, so use it without letting it flatten you. Etsy showed you how to crash a Giants party, and the smart money's building a show, not a feed.
If you want help turning any of that into something real, that's the work Giovanni does every day.
Gallucci runs organic social and content strategy for brands that want a voice, not a template. Find me at Gallucci. That's Gallucci, N-E-T. Rachel, thanks.
Always. See everybody next Tuesday.